Hello students, Mr. Bastias here. Welcome to Unit 4, Week 3, Day 1. Make sure you have your Meetingmapper, article a day, your book of knowledge, and paper and pencil to write with. Today, we will learn about Taipei, Taiwan, and bread around the world. Let's get started. If you had a chance to travel around the world, what are some places or countries you would choose to visit? Explain why. Take a moment to do so now. If I could visit anywhere, I would go to Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, and all the other continents I've never been to. I've only been to South America and North America, so I would like to visit a lot of places. How about you? This week's focus word is city. Can you say city? Sounds great. How many syllables do you hear in the word city? City. That's right. 2 syllables. I want you to repeat all the sounds you hear in the word after me. Ready? S. I. T. I. City. Does this look or sound like any words you know? It sounds similar to the word ciudad in Spanish, which means city. Now take out your Meetingmapper. In the middle, we have our focus word city. A city is a place where many people live and work. A city is a kind of town, but a city is usually a very large town with many buildings and streets. Do you live in a city? Yeah, you probably live in New York City, or at least have visited the city. You may even come from another city. What other word could you add to your Meetingmapper that reminds you of the word city or is related to the word city? I added the word lights, because a city has a lot of lights. Now let's get started with our article a day. Today's article is titled Taipei, Taiwan. Look at the picture. What do you notice? I noticed that this is a very cool looking building, but it's very different from the types of buildings we have here. Let's get started with our article a day. Taiwan is a small island in Asia. This is Taiwan. An island is a small piece of land that is surrounded by ocean. An island is an area of land with water all around it. In Spanish, we say isla. This is an island because it's a piece of land surrounded by water. The capital of Taiwan is called Taipei. People in Taiwan speak Mandarin Chinese. Taipei 101 is the tallest building in Taipei. It used to be the tallest building in the world. Up until 2009, Taipei 101 was the tallest building in the world, standing at over 1,600 feet. Look at Taipei 101. What a tall building. It is so much taller than all the other buildings around it. There are 101 floors in the building, which is why the building is called Taipei 101. Look, this is the Empire State Building in New York City, and this is Taipei 101, which is just about an antenna taller than the Empire State Building. The building is really cool because there is a pendulum inside of the building. A pendulum is a heavy weight that is attached to a piece of string and swings. This is a pendulum. It's a heavy piece attached to a string and it swings. A really large pendulum was put inside of the tall building to help it stand still when there is a very strong wind. This is the pendulum inside of Taipei 101. It is very big and it helps the building stand still when there's a lot of wind. Taipei has a lot of beautiful Buddhist temples. A temple is a place where people go pray and sometimes listen to someone speak about their god or gods. In Spanish, we say templo. And this is a Buddhist temple in Taipei. Many Taiwanese residents go to the temples to pray. A resident is a person who lives in a particular place. In Spanish, we say residente o vecino. Taiwanese residents are just people that live in Taiwan. The architecture of Buddhist temples is very unique and different from how buildings look in the United States. If you remember, at the beginning of our article a day, there was a very interesting building, and I mentioned that it is very different from how buildings look here. Take out your book of knowledge. I want you to write down 2 or 3 things you learned from the article and would like to remember. Take a moment to do this now. I'm going back to my article a day to find information that I can add to my book of knowledge. The first thing I learned is that Taiwan is a small island in the continent of Asia. I'm going to write that down. I learned that Taiwan is a small island in the continent of Asia. I also learned that Taipei 101 is the tallest building in Taipei. I also learned that Taipei 101 is the tallest building in Taipei. This article makes me think about all the buildings in the city because it focused on Taipei 101. So this makes me think of all the buildings in the city because it talked about Taipei 101. Lastly, I want you to take out your Meetingmapper. In the middle of our Meetingmapper, we have our focus word city. A city is a place where many people live and with lots of tall buildings. We've already added the word lights because there's a lot of lights in a city. But what else could you add to your Meetingmapper that is related to the word city? I added the word building because this article was a lot about buildings and there's a lot of buildings in a city. And that's it for me, students. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time.